This is a short video about how an AI company went from being a zero to being an AI hero. Of course, I'm not talking about a small company here. I'm talking about Alphabet, parent company of Google. Now, we've been talking about this company for quite a while. We've covered this company when it was at $90. Everybody hated it. It made absolutely no sense. Then we talked about it at $130 when there was this whole Gemini fiasco, as well as the pressure from OpenAI. Yes, it's true. It's true that Google Alphabet did miss the boat when it came to LLMs, when it came to AI, search, and all of that, because Google is basically the synonym for search something on the internet, right? Just Google it. Right now, you have ChatGPT. ChatGPT basically took over that term. If you want to use a chatbot or something like ChatGPT, you're not going to say, oh, just check Perplexity or some other, right? No, everybody's thought goes directly to ChatGPT. Of course, most people still use Google because not everybody lives in the AI world on YouTube or on X looking for financial stuff or the next thing that comes out each and every week with regards to AI. So yes, Google, Alphabet did miss the boat when it came to coming out, being the first one to come out with something like that. I agree. Plus, the Google graveyard is extremely big and increasing by the year. If you didn't know, there is a website called Google Graveyard where you can see all the projects that Google has killed throughout the years. But Google, Alphabet, is much more than just advertising. Of course, advertising is now their bread and butter and probably is going to be their bread and butter for quite a while. But there's way more than just 10 blue links. There's way more than just advertising inside of Alphabet. Even some things that right now might be considered as long-term bets, but those long-term bets could turn out to be on their own $100 billion opportunities. Which one? Well, those are the ones that we're going to discuss in this video, plus of course, just a general overview of what's been going on at Alphabet and Google. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, we really appreciate that. Of course, on Wednesday, after the market closes, there is going to be some AI company, I don't know, Nvidia or something like that. They report their quarterly results. Apparently, it's a big deal. Of course, we're going to cover that on the channel, plus Snowflake as well. So stay tuned for that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So first things first, yes, this is Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia. So a couple of months back, he said that digital biology will be one of the biggest revolutions ever. Why am I talking about this? Well, because one of the companies under the big Google Alphabet umbrella is Isomorphic Labs. Now, Isomorphic Labs is a company that uses AI for drug discovery. Was founded in 2021 by Demis Hassabis, also CEO of DeepMind, and it's an Alphabet subsidiary. It believes in a fundamental connection between biology and information science. It develops AI to predict complex biological phenomena for scientific discovery, focuses on finding cures for diseases, and it collaborates with DeepMind on AlphaFold 3 to improve drug design by predicting protein structures. AlphaFold 3 is an AI model that can predict the structure of an interaction between biological molecules, including protein, DNA, and RNA. You've probably heard this term, especially during the pandemic, and small molecules that could function as drugs. Why is that such a big deal? Well, this is basically the drug discovery market right now in 2024, market size of around $1.9 billion. By 2032, that should be worth around $12.8 billion. Quite some growth, plus the global pharmaceutical market is worth way more. By way more, I mean in the trillions of dollars. And so here you have a company, a subsidiary company of Alphabet that is in those markets, drug discovery market, and then in the future, of course, as well, global pharmaceutical markets. In the future, I mean, they are already successful today, but by the time they will monetize it, I expect this company to be worth tens of billions of dollars, if not more. Then, more recently, Google had their I/O event. So here were a couple of announcements that they made. One, they revamped the search engine. Google unveiled a revamped search engine powered by AI, likely improving search accuracy and results understanding. More on that in just a second. Lambda upgrade, they announced an AI model with a significantly expanded ability to process information, allowing for more comprehensive and informative interactions. Workspace AI helpers. AI assistants are coming to Gmail, Drive, Docs, and other workspace apps to enhance your workflow. Why is that important? Well, because imagine if you have your AI helper that is integrated in everything Google. Of course, you would like to migrate everything to something Google because it makes sense. It makes your life easier, makes decisions faster, better organized basically, which is also why people like to have everything Apple because it's in the Apple ecosystem. I believe the same thing here can be said with everything Google. Then last two things here. One, Project Astra, a glimpse into the future of AI with Project Astra, which can respond to a combination of inputs like sight, sound, voice, and text. Of course, we've seen this already with OpenAI. But with regards to that project, they did give us a glimpse of what might look like future, I wouldn't call it Google Glasses, because we all know what happened with Google Glass almost a decade ago. So this might actually be, what we're seeing here, by the way, is what the glasses are seeing right now. So this could be their own version of the Meta Ray-Ban AR glasses. Could very well be. Plus you can talk with it, it answers, you see the text, there is an overlay as well. So that's pretty exciting. And then they announce 100 extra things. You can all find it on labs.google. Then moving on to the other company that might be worth hundreds of billions of dollars in the future, and that's of course Waymo. So they are saying here that over 7+ million riders only miles compared to human benchmarks, the Waymo driver had 85% reduction in injury causing crash rates, 57% reduction in police reported crash rates. Now of course, Waymo, geofenced, there are some people that can take control of the car if something doesn't go the right way, which we've seen in plenty of videos on social media. But in my opinion, if they figure this out, if this scales, if this become really level 5 autonomy, I mean, we've talked about Tesla and what happens with robotaxi will be worth quite a lot of money. Imagine what happens when Waymo unlocks all of that potential. If you think that it's Tesla's market and Tesla's market only, you are mistaken. And this is coming from someone that has Tesla as their number one position in the portfolio. Oh, and by the way, Waymo's valuation, last time we got a number was in 2020, was around $30 billion. Beforehand, it was around 175 and some even say around $200 billion. Of course, ZERP era, right now I think around $30 billion would be, let's say, a fair-ish valuation, but it just goes to show you how big of a company that is already inside of Google. And like I said at the start of this video, Google right now is already quite a tremendous company, and I think one of the strongest company when it comes to AI as well. Revenue last quarter increased 15% year over year, operating income $25.47 billion with a 32% operating margin, increasing year over year by 7 percentage points. Net income $23.66 billion, diluted earnings per share $1.89. Now, as you can clearly see here, yes, the majority of its revenue comes from Google Search and others. Google advertising as a whole makes up the majority of the revenues. YouTube ads continues to grow quite nicely. YouTube, another huge asset that Google has. Then looking at subscriptions, platforms and devices, that is also growing. I mean, we've been talking about the YouTube Premium, we've been talking about the Google Pixel, all the Google devices. I think Google Pixel is going to be a huge game changer for the company, not just because they will own the phone, but shall I remind you that Android also comes under that Alphabet Google umbrella. So no matter what happens in the future, Android phones are the most popular phones on the planet, right? There is iOS and then all the rest is basically Android. So any other company that comes out with an AI device, no matter what, they will probably have to build it on top of Android. Who benefits from that? Google Alphabet. And then of course we have the big driver here, now still relatively small, all things considered, but you have a Google Cloud. Google Cloud continues to grow quite nicely. And looking at the profitability side of things, Google Services, the largest chunk of it, Then you've got Google Cloud starting to become more and more profitable. Other bets still losing money, and then Alphabet level activities for this quarter that takes a big hit. So total income from operations, $25.47 billion. And of course, this company generates, I think it was $16 billion in free cash flow, buying back a lot of shares, and now paying also a small dividend. Now, let's switch over to what happens next. Let's talk a little bit about the risks here. We've already talked about this a couple of months ago, but let me remind you. We've talked about Gemini, we've talked about the rise of search by AI, by LLMs. So, Gartner predicts search engine volume will drop 25% by 2026 due to AI chatbots and other virtual agents, which of course is bad news for a company that has the majority of its revenue coming from search advertising. According to Altimeter, this is search query by day, so informational searches are expected to drop quite a lot in the next coming years, and LLM-based searches are expected to go up quite a lot. If we look at the unit economics of both types of searches, informational searches, cost per query, very, very small, which means that's a very, very profitable way for them to operate. If we go and look at LLM-based searches, well, cost per query, I mean, this was back then. Right now, I expect this to have come down quite significantly. So a couple of months ago, this was way more expensive than the revenue per query, which of course is an issue for a company like Google. But as I said in that video a couple of months ago, I said I expect this to come down quite significantly. And of course, I'm sure that people at Google have found out ways to monetize LLM type searches. I mean, yes, it makes our lives easier, but I'm pretty sure that they can still monetize it in one way or another. Some advertising here, some advertising there, maybe taking some share if, I don't know, you're looking for an hotel, flight, etc., etc. If you go through them, they take a little cut. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure that they're figuring this out. Plus, everything inside of Google happens inside of Google, which means they can control the cost, which means they will probably have one of the lowest in the industry, which makes it extremely, extremely difficult for all the other AI startups to compete with. And so right now, if we look at the stock valuation-wise, year to date, it's up 27.32%. Year over year, it's up close to 45%. And yet, forward PE is still at 22.8 times, which, I mean, quite cheap. I would say, I mean, cheap is subjective, but it's lower than its 5-year mean. And compared to all the other big 7, big 6, it's still the lowest. EV to EBITDA 14.1 times, price to sales 6.1 times. Yes, it's more expensive than the 5-year mean. Price to free cash flow 31.8 times. Price earnings to growth at 1.33. I mean, in my opinion, yes, even at $2.2 trillion in market cap, there is still some growth ahead. Now, are we due for a small correction? Yes, maybe. I mean, so many stocks have reached their all-time highs in the last couple of days, if not weeks. With regards to Alphabet, Google stock here, yes, we are now very, very close to being overbought. We are, of course, at all-time highs. Yes, you can clearly see a clear recovery from that triple bottom at the end of 2022 at around $90. Then, along the way, we did have small corrections that rebounded perfectly at the 200-day moving average. Could we see the same thing right now? Maybe in the future we could see the same thing. I think the stock market, I mean, at least some stocks have gone up quite a lot non-stop. Maybe they're due for a pullback, remains to be seen. I'm not here to time the market. I'm here to spend time in the market. That's why I have Google in my portfolio. That's why I bought it at 90. That's why I bought it at 130 as well. Whenever you hear fears, whenever you hear weird arguments why a company stock should go down for no reason other than we've seen some headlines here and there, usually that's the time you should become extremely bullish. Of course, only if it truly is a good company. And so, the end of this short-ish video. Yes, I truly think that Sundar did turn the ship around. Still not perfect, but it definitely did go from an AI zero to an AI hero in, I would say, record time. Of course, I could be completely wrong. That's fine. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.